All right, guys, and what is going on? This is the Club of the Man, 1993 coming to you for a quick live review. It is my live review of this week's episode of 205 Live. The July 3rd, 2018 edition of 205 Live took place last night in Omaha, Nebraska. I watched the show about a couple hours ago, but I was pretty tired from being up early this morning to sit in the grueling hot sun here. It was probably near 100 degrees out there, watching a traditional parade I go to watch every year. So that's why this review, again, is kind of late. And hopefully, because I'm going to have to watch fireworks after this, hopefully also I can get my my NXT live review. And as you can see, the network live is streaming behind me right now. So I'll try to look a little this way so I'll get a copyright strike or anything. That should be fine. Anyways, though, so this week's episode 205 Live was a really good episode, 205 Live. I thought, there was a lot of good things that happened on the show, interesting and intriguing that kept me going forward with the three matches that they had tonight. We had a return. We had another match. I was going to start up a new feud, which is pretty fresh, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes with this as well. And then that main event. A lot of people were telling me last night that this main event is a match of the year candidate, and boy, were they right. So let's get right into this review real quick. As I said, this took place in Omaha, Nebraska, right after last night's episode of SmackDown Live. We started off with Drake Maverick talking about how next week we will get a cruiserweight title match between Cedric Alexander and Hideo Itami. The match I was hoping to see at SummerSlam, but you know what? We're still getting next week. I'm excited for it. That's a dream match of mine, Cedric Alexander versus Hideo Itami for the Cruiserweight Championship. Let's see here. What else we got here? We have he runs down the card tonight. He hyped up Mustafa Ali versus Buddy Murphy as a rubber match to sell the rivalry and a no disqualification match, which will be. And he said that TJP will get the respect he's been asking for when he faces an opponent of his choosing, pretty much. So the show starts off with TJP coming out to the ring with the microphone saying that Drake has picked all his opponents because that's his job. He can't help but notice he's not in the main event. His match isn't for the title. And he's stuck in this nowhere town of Omaha, Nebraska, as he called them. And he just, trashes the crowd running down Omaha, then says he'll play around and calls for his opponents because it's time to tap out, as he claims. Well, of course, that was not the case for him because this opponent revealed for him was a surprise return, even though he returned during the UK tournament, but Noam Dar returned for the first time since being out since December, I think with like a knee injury or something like that. And I'm going to be honest, I hated Noam Dar. I mean, I think because he was stuck in that god-awful feud with Alicia Fox, being his girlfriend and whatnot. Again, we all know that was my worst storyline of 2017. If you watch the year in review video on my friend Daniel Geis's channel, I talk about this as the worst storyline of the year. But I feel like, it was good to have Noam Dar, walk away for take the break he did because of his injury, come back, a refresher. I still don't know if he's a face or a heel or not because, even though he seemed like a baby face here, he kind of acted a little bit like a heel still in the UK tournament Fatal 4-Way match he participated in. It was a pretty quick match as he came in out firing. He takes him into a short order and he hits him with a leaping knee strike to the side of the head, pretty much squashing TJP to get the victory, and embarrassing for TJP as well. Dasha Fuentes tried to interview him backstage afterwards, but he refused to talk and he just walks right out of the building angry. We have a backstage interview with Buddy Murphy also getting pumped on a lot in the locker room. He says there's no one like him in the division, which is why he takes out Mustafa Ali tonight. Doesn't matter if it's Cedric or Hideo, he's taking the belt after next week's Cruiserweight Championship match. So then we were supposed to get Akira Tozawa taking on some jobber named Jason Strike, but out came Leo Rush, and he was at ringside watching Akira Tozawa. It was another pretty short squash match for the most part, with Striker getting a little bit of offense and working as a little bit of a somewhat credible heel, but Tozawa still overcame him though. But of course, the interesting part was afterwards, we're setting up a feud with Leo Rush and Akira Tozawa. Rush got on the microphone and he said he's a fan of Tozawa. He can see why he's a former Cruiserweight champion, but he wonders if he's not resting on his laurels and just sitting around waiting for opportunities. Akira should be ashamed. Leo's different. He doesn't wait for anything. Maybe when Tozawa is done weighing around, he'll step into the ring with a 23-year-old piece of gold and feel the rush. So pretty much he was calling, Tozawa out for a match, pretty much whatnot. Again, like I said about Dar, I'm not 100% sure if Dar turned the face and I'm still not 100% sure if Leo Rush is still a babyface, is cocky, or if he's a heel or whatnot yet. So I'm still waiting to do the turn alerts on those as well. But, I'm interested in seeing where this goes with Akira Tozawa and Leo Rush as well, as I was impressed with Leo Rush's debut match last week on 205 Live. We then see Ali warming up backstage, but he talks about his opponents and how Buddy Murphy is dangerous, but he's the guy who runs at danger instead of away from it. Tonight, the rules will get broken. It's the night he shows the Juggernaut is just a man. Then we see Cedric Alexander get a selfie promo addressing his challenger, demanding for respect. Alexander plans to give Itami his respect and add him to the legacy that he is building. So that's the hype for next week's main event. Cedric Alexander versus Hideo Itami in the Cruiserweight Championship. I can't wait to see that match next week. And then we got our main event. Buddy Murphy taking on Mustafa Ali in a no disqualification match. Who was this match amazing? As I keep raving on how, they built up, Mustafa Ali, being like, the heart, like an underdog character on 205 Live. May I take a page out of Deluxe Man's 205 Live review? He mentioned how he's starting to view Mustafa Ali as Shawn Michaels, with how well he sells things in the ring and making the comebacks, but making it look like, not just like, he gets beats up, then he just all of a sudden so strong as that. No, he shows that he's fighting through the pain and they're taking like all, the power yet needed. Buddy Murphy used so many, you threw him into the steel steps, how many times took advantage of his back and whatnot. There was a time where Ali was tied up in the ropes with his arms and he did all these like vicious looking knee strikes. Like to me, this match, of course, not as good because I just watched it last night, was like, a classic, but somewhat, not as the match somewhat reminded me of CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar in some ways. Like it felt like it was on that level of a no disqualification match, which, some weapons were used, but we didn't have, a lot of them being used. But that's okay, because still through the barehanded techniques and whatnot, to me it showed that they were still taking advantage of the no disqualification rules. Now, again, when I say no disqualification, I'm saying I expect, tables, ladders, or chairs, or any of those vicious other stuff. No, I'm saying is I want to see them take advantage of the no disqualification stipulation and literally just try to show it's pretty much a fight and not a match, pretty much. And that's exactly what this match was. The steel steps and stuff off there. I also like the spot where Mustafa Ali did a suplexing Buddy Murphy over. He's standing on top of the steel steps, went over the steel steps and landed him. But what I also like is that move. I forgot what exactly called, but they were on like the barricade, and he did that. He did the same thing like on the floor, like in the other week in the triple threat match with Itami, and he did right into the announce table. Did not break, but it was just sick as heck. And the match ended. Though after Ali hit a tornado DDT over the steps. It was pretty much X-Pac's finisher also from what I heard. It was a fun, amazing no DQ match. Again, establishing, how good, Buddy Murphy is, as, the more bigger cruiserweight, but he's vicious and he's a destroyer. And then there's the heart of 205 Live and Mustafa Ali, the underdog character who just, fights through all the pain he can get, whatnot. It just establishes them both very well. And I definitely got to say, this is definitely one of the best matches of the year, I'd say, in my honest opinion. And because of that, guys, that's it for my live review of 205 Live. Now I kind of flew through it, but again, I'm kind of on a tight schedule here tonight. But because of that again, the return of Noam Dar was good. I also, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Akira Tozawa and TJP. The hype for next week's main event for the Cruiserweight Championship. Cedric Alexander and Hideo Itami is going to be awesome. And, of course, that main event was an absolute classic, I thought. So, with that, I'm giving this episode of 205 Live a solid A. For this week's episode of 205 Live. What are your thoughts on 205 Live this week? And, of course, if you have not seen that match yet between Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy, no DQ, please check that match out. You will not regret it. So leave thoughts down in the comment section below. And be sure to always click my like and subscribe or comment on this channel and follow me on Twitter at TheManAirborne93. I'll be back up here in a little bit, to a couple hours or so, I'd say, to do my live review of this week's episode of NXT. So that, guys, I'm checking out. I will see you all later. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out, everybody.